Okay, so today we have this Epiphone Joe Bonamassa Les Paul. This is modeled after a 1955 Les Paul of his, and it's in this awesome iridescent copper finish. Don't get me wrong, I love a good burst finish with a flame maple, but this is a really cool color. I think it's very classy, but it's also slightly unusual. You don't see this a lot. I think it goes great with kind of the cream colored appointments on the guitar. I was really excited to get this guitar, and let's go ahead and just plug it in and see how it sounds. In terms of specs, it's pretty much a straight ahead Les Paul. You've got a mahogany body with a maple top, mahogany neck. It's a pretty chunky neck. It's a 59 neck, I believe is what the specs say. I had a Gibson Les Paul Standard 50s edition a few years ago, and the neck feels very similar to that. You've got your typical 12-inch radius, medium jumbo frets. I think overall, the quality is really good. The knobs feel very high quality. The switch feels good. The fretwork is excellent. This guitar actually came out of the box with really low action, and there wasn't any fret buzz. And the action was really lower than I would ever want it. And I think it was even starting to, choke off some of the resonance of the guitar. When you strum notes, it sounded like they were coming from down here rather than from the body of the guitar. But I wasn't getting fret buzz. So that says to me that the fretwork is pretty good. The edges feel nice and smooth. I raised up the bridge a little bit just to get a little bit higher action. It's still really low, and it plays really nice. So in terms of quality, the only issue I have with this guitar is the nut is cut a little bit high, especially the low E. I'll do a close-up here so you can see it. So these slots need to come down a little bit. But other than that, this came out of the box perfect, and I'm super impressed. This is actually my first Epiphone I've ever owned, and I am quite impressed. And I would even say, I mentioned that I had a Les Paul Standard 50s. I think it was a 2019 that I had for a few years. This doesn't feel that much different than that guitar. And considering that this guitar is an $850 guitar, that's really impressive. And to add on to that, this guitar came with a hard shell case. You can see some of it here. I can't remember the last time that I bought a sub $1,000 guitar that got a hard shell case. These days, most $2,000 guitars still come with a gig bag. I wish the hard shell case didn't have the Joe Bonamassa Fragile on it. That seems a little hokey to me, but it's a really nice case, and the fact that it's coming with an $850 guitar is just amazing. So I think this is just a really great guitar, and I'm just astounded at the price point. But let's go ahead and plug it in again, and let's go through all the tones in detail. So for all these samples, I'm playing through my Neural DSP Quad Cortex. That's what you heard in the playing in the beginning as well. I've got a preset set up with a model of a Mesa Boogie Lone Star, both some clean and some gain. I've got a little bit of reverb on, but I've turned off all the other effects just so we can hear how the guitar sounds. So right now I'm on a cleanish setting, and I'm on the neck pickup, and let's hear how it sounds. So these are definitely kind of your quintessential P90s. They have a good amount of bite to them. But there's a good amount of touch sensitivity. They could be a little clearer, I think. But they sound pretty good. Let's go ahead and go to the in-between position. I'm gonna go to the bridge. So overall, like I said, they've got some bite, but it's not harsh. And I think they could do with a little more clarity, but overall, it's a good sounding pickup. Let's go ahead and go to a little bit of gain. We're still on the bridge. You can hear on the bridge, in this kind of tone, that kind of mid gain, you can hear the P90-ish comes through. It definitely sounds different than a humbucker. We go to the in-between position. I'm really liking the in-between position on this guitar. You know, in the beginning when I was doing the it sounds really good on that in-between position. And then on the neck. It's a Les Paul. The G string goes out of tune, right? So I think that mid-gain tone really kind of brings out the P90-ishness of these pickups. They really are modeled after kind of that standard quintessential P90 tone with that kind of mid-range bite. Let's go ahead and stack in some extra overdrive to get more of a kind of a thick lead tone. So when you stack in that gain, the P90 still kind of fills in almost like a humbucker, but it still has a little bit of that mid-range bite to really make it kind of cut through. Let's go ahead and do the middle position. I think that middle position works really good for those kind of upper leads. If we roll back the neck volume just a little bit on that. Maybe you can get a little bit more clarity on it. But let's let's roll that back up again, and we'll go to the neck. So that nice kind of neck singing lead tone. So there you have it. There's the Epiphone Joe Bonamassa 1955 Les Paul and Iridescent Copper. I'm super pleased with this guitar. It plays great. It sounds good. The pickups may not be 100% my favorite, but they are good pickups. I don't feel the need to replace them right away, but I may look to upgrade one or both of them in the near future. Other than that, and like I said, adjusting the nut a little bit, this guitar is perfect. And I can't imagine getting a better value for the money. And so if you're interested in getting one of these guitars and you're thinking about it, I would encourage you to pull the trigger. I'm super happy with it. I don't think you'll regret it. Anyway, I hope you found this helpful, and thanks for watching.